In one of the most haunting parables ever written, Nietzsche introduces a figure known only as the Madman. He runs into a crowded marketplace, carrying a lantern, not at night, but at dawn. The light of the sun already fills the square. People laugh. They mock him. What's he doing with a lantern in daylight? The madman stops. His eyes are wild, but his voice is clear. I seek God. I seek God. They laugh even louder. Has God gone missing? Was he hiding? Did he travel? The madman looks at them, and suddenly his laughter dies. Then he cries out, God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. Silence falls across the square. The laughter fades into the wind. Nietzsche's madman is not insane. He is the only one who truly understands what has happened. The people around him represent us, the modern mind, those who think we have outgrown religion, yet still live as if its light remains. The madman says, how did we drink up the sea? Who gave us the sponge to wipe away the entire horizon? What were we doing when we unchained this earth from its sun? These are not poetic lines. They are the deepest metaphors of philosophy. To unchain the earth from the sun is to remove the source of light, the center of gravity, the force that gave direction to everything we once believed. It is to float endlessly in the cold space of meaninglessness. When Nietzsche said God is dead, he wasn't celebrating. He was warning. He was not rejoicing in the death of religion. He was mourning the loss of certainty. He saw that modern man had built his entire civilization upon Christian values, the ideas of love, forgiveness, truth, humility, yet no longer believed in the divine authority that once justified them. We had killed the source, but we still expected the river to flow. Nietzsche knew that couldn't last forever. Without the foundation, the moral structure would soon crumble. And he asked, when it does, what will replace it? The madman in Nietzsche's parable walks among the people and cries, where is God? I will tell you. We have killed him, you and I. All of us are his murderers. He speaks not with pride, but with terror. Because to kill God is not to destroy a being in the sky, it is to destroy the very meaning of meaning. He says, what festivals of atonement, what sacred games shall we have to invent? Is not the greatness of this deed too great for us? In other words, if humanity has killed its highest value, what new value could possibly take its place? Who are we now? The killers of eternity. The crowd still doesn't understand him. They laugh again, thinking it's madness. They don't realize that they are the ones who are lost. So the madman smashes his lantern on the ground. The light goes out, and he says quietly, I have come too early. This tremendous event is still on its way. The lightning and the thunder need time. The light of the stars needs time. Deeds, though done, need time to be seen and heard. Then he turns and disappears into the darkness. What did Nietzsche mean by this? He meant that the true consequences of God's death had not yet been felt. People in the 19th century still acted moral, still used words like good and evil, but without realizing that those words had lost their foundation. He predicted that in the future, in our time, this moral vacuum would become visible. That humanity, no longer guided by divine truth, would fall into two extremes, chaos or control, the collapse of values or the rise of new ideologies pretending to replace them. Both would lead to suffering. And indeed, the century after Nietzsche's death proved him right. The 20th century became the bloodiest in human history, not because of religion, but because of the loss of it. Ideologies rose like false gods, fascism, communism, nationalism, each promising salvation, each demanding sacrifice, each claiming absolute truth. They were the children of a world without God, a world desperate for meaning, willing to kneel before anything that promised it. Nietzsche's warning was not only for Europe, it was for us, for modern humanity itself. He foresaw a time when people would live comfortably, entertained, connected, but inwardly empty. A time when we would measure everything in pleasure and profit, yet still wonder why joy feels so distant. That is the world of the madman's prophecy, a world full of light, yet blind to its own darkness. And here is the tragic irony. The madman's lantern, the one he shattered, symbolized philosophy itself, the light of reason, the human attempt to find meaning without revelation. He smashed it because even reason, without a foundation of faith, cannot save us. We can explain the stars, but not the purpose of the night. We can measure the brain, but not the meaning of thought. When the lantern breaks, humanity is left not in total darkness, but in a light that no longer warms. Nietzsche's genius was not his rebellion. It was his honesty. He dared to describe what everyone else feared to admit, that modern civilization was living on the ghost of God. He did not ask us to return to superstition. He asked us to face the truth courageously, to confront the void and build new meaning from it. But as we will see, most people are not strong enough to live without a higher order. Most need something to obey, a structure, a law, a purpose beyond themselves. And that is why Nietzsche's next challenge was not to destroy religion, but to replace it, to create a new kind of human being who could stand without divine crutches. He called this being the Übermensch, the Overman, the one who would create new values from his own strength. But before we meet him, we must walk through Nietzsche's next shadow, the realm of morality without God, the place where good and evil themselves begin to fade. This journey now comes to its quiet end, but not the search for wisdom. Each thought, each question, is another lantern in the dark. If this film has spoken to you, my friends, share its light and let it travel farther, because truth, when shared, does not fade. It multiplies. And as always, keep your lantern burning and remember, to think is to live twice.